What's up, guys? Guys and gals, welcome everyone. Make sure my stream's up and running. We're looking good. Hopefully I don't lose connection because my cable company, internet company, said that they're doing scheduled service in my neighborhood. So we'll see what happens. But for now, we're looking good. You guys should all be able to hear me. I have a couple giveaways today. We've got some $200 giveaways and a $1,000 giveaway. So we'll do that throughout the show. But thank you for joining me. Hopefully you guys can all see me okay. Yeah, cool. All right. If you guys haven't heard, we'll talk about PrimeXBT. I've teamed up with PrimeXBT like almost a year ago now, or maybe actually over a year ago, and they've just been helping me create all this leverage trading content on YouTube. So shout out to them. I really appreciate it. I do use their exchange, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick the list of all the altcoins they added, because holy cow. It literally used to be like ADA, Ethereum, BTC, ETH, and Litecoin. And then they added Sol, and now they've just added a ton. So, if you're looking for a place to trade altcoins, this is a great one. I'm just pretty impressed with all of the additions. I didn't think they were actually going to do it. So I'm really happy that they did. It was a great decision to add all those in. And, there's a link below if you want to sign up and support me. Otherwise, just sign up, whatever. But if you do make an account today, you do need an account to claim the giveaways for today. So I'll give you a code. You plug it in on the website in your account, and you'll be able to use that money for trading, and you can withdraw all the profits from that. So I've got 6 giveaway total today. So we'll do those in a little bit. But I don't know why I'm on this chart. I really just want to talk about, I want to start off with just a quick piece, kind of my biggest advice for leverage trading or whatever, my biggest tip. And of course, nothing's financial advice, whatever. So my biggest tip is understand what time frame you're trading on, and your position sizing is likely going to change depending on that time frame because your stop loss is going to be different. So if I'm trading on a 1-day chart, all right, let's just say I want to long this. All right, now this isn't going to be an actual setup, so don't follow this. But let's say I want to buy this, and I'm going to put my stop loss below this candle, and my target's going to be up here. So that's almost a 1.5. Let's put it below this EMA. Okay, so that's like a 1.5% risk, right? This is my reward, 8%. Great. You got to think about your risk, and you got to know your time frame. So if I'm trading on a 1-day chart, I'm going to go a lot smaller position because my risk is going to be 1.5%. If I do a 10x leverage trade, that's going to be 15%, right? That's a 15% risk. So I don't want to do a huge 15% risk position, okay? That's too much. So if I'm trading on lower time frames, and this is why I like to trade on lower time frames, you guys, and this is why I kind of say like sometimes I can go a little bit bigger on lower time frames, because let's say I'm trading a 15-minute chart, okay? And let's just say I want to buy, I'm going to long this candle here, all right? I'm going to put my stop loss down here. And I'm going to have my target be like, let's just say somewhere up here, okay? So now I have a 0.3% risk and a 2.3% reward. So if that's a 10x long now, that's a 3% risk rather than a 15% risk, so I can go a little bit bigger, right? Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome, Yatish. You're new here. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you joining. Hopefully you enjoy. I do want to answer a lot of your questions today, you guys. So if you have questions, make sure you put them in the chat. You do have to be subscribed to comment. But, if you're subscribed, you get notifications when all my videos go up. So that way you never miss them because, I literally just load it. I don't do any filler content. I don't do any BS, BS news stories or fake charts just saying that Bitcoin's going to pump, yada, yada. Everything I do is educational based. I want to bring I want my time to be spent educating you guys. So anything I do, I want it to be worth your while and value added. So this risk tool, somebody just asked what this tool is. It's literally just a long and a short position. So if I go over here to the left, All right, this is a great way to be able to calculate your risk. Long position, short position. So I go long, and you can see the red is going to be my stop loss, and the green is going to be my target. Okay, or I could short, and it's going to flip around, and the red is going to be my stop loss, and the green is going to be my target. Okay, so that's the first bit of advice, you guys. When I first started trading, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to do the same position size every time. And then I'd be on a daily chart. I'd have a wider stop loss. So I'd take a big loss. And then you want your risk to be the same on every trade. So if you're risking $100 let's just say you're risking $100 on a daily chart, okay, and your risk is 1%, then you could do a $1,000 position with 10x leverage. That's going to give you 1% risk on $10,000, which would be $100. Okay. Now, if I go to lower time frames again, like I said, like a 15-minute chart, okay, now I can enter here. My stop loss is 3% on a 10x leverage position. So 3%, I don't know, I can go bigger. That's basically, it's 0.3%, sorry. It's 0.3% now. So I could do like a $20,000 position or more to risk only $100. All right, if that makes sense. So the next piece of advice I have, the next little tip I have here is understand what time frame you're trading on, okay? If you're trading on a 15-minute time frame or a 5-minute time frame, and remember these lower time frames are more difficult to trade on, okay? They're a lot more difficult. The same techniques you use on higher time frames might not work on the lower time frames. So be mindful of that. You might have to adjust your strategies just a little bit, okay? But if you're trading on a 5-minute chart, you're not going to hold the trade for a day or two, okay? So if I'm on a 5-minute chart, I got to take profit quicker, maybe in 15, 20, 30 minutes, all right? If I'm trading on a 5-minute chart, I'm probably not going to hold it longer than, say, 30 minutes or so. Okay. Now, if I'm trading on a daily chart, that's when I can hold for multiple days. Okay. And I have to understand that if I buy on a daily chart, I don't want to go to the 5-minute chart and just panic sell in 5 seconds because I need to give this trade proper time to actually play out, right? So know what time frame you're trading on. If you're trading on a 30-minute or a 1-hour chart, maybe you hold for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours on an hour chart. Okay. But the way you can lose money the most is by having a successful trade on a 5-minute chart. Okay, so let's say that I buy here and it goes up here, and then I get really bullish and I go out to the daily chart and I'm like, oh man, this looks like it's gonna moon. Crap, I can't sell this. I gotta hold. So my entry was based on a 5-minute chart, and what could happen? Boom! It could go back down here, stop me out. Then it hits a daily time frame support level and then bounces. Okay, so if I'm trading on daily time frame, I need to stick to the daily chart, maybe like the 6-hour or the 4-hour for entry. Okay, maybe. But if I'm trading on a 5-minute chart, I cannot get a daily time frame entry there because it's just too low, it's too small, and there's too many chances for like even this. Let's say like it went up here and I think it's going to keep going, and then it stops me out, and then now it keeps going. Okay. So know what time frame you're trading on. If you're trading on a 1-minute chart, which really you shouldn't be unless you like have a really good strategy, okay? If you're trading on 1-minute chart, it's literally like enter, exit when momentum stops. I almost never hold a 1-minute trade. I usually hold for like, I think 12 minutes is like about my absolute max time to hold a 1-minute chart. And if momentum stalls, I'm getting out, okay? So that's the easiest way to get chopped up on a 1-minute chart too, is to try to hold longer than you should, and you're not realizing what time frame you're trading, and then that's what's going to get you chopped up, okay? So let's see. I'm going to look at your questions here. So I just want to start off with kind of my biggest tip. I think a lot of people don't understand that, so I really hope that helped, and if you have more questions about that, you want me to clarify anything, obviously comment below. But let me see what else we have. Sweet. Thanks for subscribing, you guys. I appreciate it. Let's see. Do you always use 1 to 2% risk of your trading portfolio independent of which time frame? Yes and no. It depends on the account. If I have a large account, like a 6-figure account, I'm risking very little. I'm risking probably 2% max across the board on any position on any of my accounts. Now, with that said, okay, if I have a scalp account, let's say that has $10,000 in it, I can maybe risk $1,000 in there, okay, which would be 10% of that account. But if I lose $1,000, am I going to go broke? No, I can risk $1,000 because I have a 6-figure account sitting over here. This is just a $10,000 account. I can risk a little bit more here. It's a smaller account. I can play a little bit more aggressive maybe, okay? So it depends on your account size, your total net worth, blah, blah, blah. Like if I have a 6-figure account, I never want to risk more than like 2%, okay? If I have a trade go negative 2%, I usually just get out regardless of anything. Even if my stop loss isn't hit, maybe I overcalculated. If I have a very large account, I just got to cut it because I don't want that loss to turn into a 5 or 10% loss because I've done that too many times in the past and you can't do it over and over and over, okay? So, depends on your overall situation, okay, to where what your actual risk management is going to be on any given account. But that said, if you only have one account and it's 6 figures, you shouldn't be risking 10% a day on that or anything, right? That's not good risk management. And honestly, you guys, on my smaller scalp account, I have like $10,000 in there, and I'm honestly usually risking like $250, $350, and my reward is usually $700 to like $2,000. So that's and that's a lot of the reason why I don't share my losses like all the time. And honestly, I don't post many of my trades I don't take many trades lately anyway. And my hit rate's been really good lately because of that, I think, because I've been really picky. But the reason a lot of times if I post a trade, most of them have been wins lately, honestly. But that's why I don't share my losses all the time because I'm like, here's a $200 loss, woohoo, on my scalp account. And my small scalp account, that's the one I'm on more often. My larger account, I'm on for crypto anyway. I'll maybe accumulate like a position, like a small 5x leverage, 3x leverage position, let's say on Bitcoin, and I'll just kind of slowly build a position. On my PrimeXBT account, I like to do like momentum trades, which don't work in these conditions, so I can't trade on it as often. But basically for that, what I would do for my PrimeXBT account is I would slowly start to build. Let's say I'm going to want to short. So I would slowly start to short like up here, and I would add a little bit, and I would add a little bit, and I would add a little bit, and that puts my average entry to like here. But I'm in profit right now, so if it goes against me, I can just close around break even. But if it goes for me, I've got all these ads now, and I'm making a decent profit. And then when momentum stalls, probably here to be honest, when momentum stalls, I just close. So if we start to bounce here pretty hard, I would just close, no harm, no foul, or maybe close half. And then if we don't continue down and we start to go up again, then I would close the other half. Okay. So that's what I do on PrimeXBT. It's more momentum based, where it's literally start to slowly get in, get your feet wet. When you have more confidence and you start to get in a little bit of profit, you add more. It drops my average entry. I can get out and profit still. Otherwise, I can make some nice profits because I've built a position. Okay. So risk though, it's totally independent on your different accounts. You could have a $500 account over on a random exchange, and if I lose the whole account, big deal, right? That's nothing. So it depends on you, your situation, your financial situation. Just don't over leverage. Never have all your money on one leverage account, you guys. It's just too easy, especially when you don't have rules or you're new. It's too easy to get angry and fight the market and then just blow an account in one day. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's keep going through the questions. Thanks. I'm glad you guys enjoy the stream so far. 1 to 2%. I'm trying to get through all the questions. Somebody said, I'd like to try scalping. Is that something best used with leverage? Thanks. Not necessarily. I don't use leverage when I scalp on my stock account. And it just depends on the position size you want and the profits you want, right? If I use a $200,000 position and price moves 1%, I catch $2,000 and I can close out. Okay. Obviously, if it drops 1%, I lose $2,000. So that's why risk management and risk to reward is so important, right? But no, you don't need leverage to scalp. And honestly, I prefer not using leverage because then my percentages are just smaller and just having larger accounts. Because once you get into leverage, you have to like convert that to your whole account size, which what I mean by that is if I have like $100,000 account and I'm not using leverage and I enter $10,000, I know that a 10% risk on that $10,000 is going to be 1% of my overall account, right? So 10% risk on that $10,000 is $1,000, and that would be 1% of $100,000. Once I get into leverage, it's easy to undercalculate your losses and have a loss turn into a lot bigger than you expected. Like you enter a 10x leverage position with $10,000. Well, that's now a $100,000 position, and now you're technically all in, right? You're basically all in because you could have used that whole $100,000 and put it into a position, and it would be the same thing. So now you're basically all in, and you realize that if this position moves 5% against you, you're actually basically risking 5% of your account. So you don't want to do that. I definitely prefer not using leverage, honestly. But like on my small scalp accounts, yeah, I'll use leverage because if I blow the account, it's not the end of the world. But and that's why I'll use higher leverage. Like that's why I use 125x leverage on like $1,000 position. Okay. Like people freak out when I use 125x, but it's literally like the reason sometimes I use 125x is because, and again, I use small positions if I use large leverage, you guys. I'm never going huge on high leverage. Like I'm not going to use a $50,000 position at 100x leverage. That is stupid because you never know when you're just going to get a BS crazy, like I've seen it before. I've had it happen before where like price just goes boom in like a second, right? It literally does that in a second and you're wrecked and you didn't even have time to set a stop loss and now you're screwed. So the reason though that I like to use high leverage sometimes too is because if I'm wrong, I know I have to close so I don't get liquidated on that position. And what that means is, do you guys ever like enter a position? Let's see. Do you ever enter a position like let's say I just short here, right? That's not a good example. Let me see. Let's say that, here we go. Here's a good example. Let's say that I short here, okay? And I'm like, oh man, this is a nice profit. I think it's going to go lower. And then it goes back up to entry and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And then it goes up and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Oh, damn it. Like, and then I lost a lot of money, right? And because I wouldn't close my position. Well, if I use high leverage, again, this is actually kind of a shitty example because really like most people using high leverage aren't going to follow these rules. But anyway, so the reason I use high leverage is because I know my liquidation level is going to be, and again, I'm using small positions, but I know my liquidation level is going to be like here. So if it goes back against me, I'm like, oh shit, I need to close quickly so I don't get liquidated. You know, like for whatever reason, mentally for me, that helps me be like, I have to close this rather than if it's a 10x short, I might just be like, oh, whatever, it's just down a little bit. Oh, it's just down a little bit. Oh, it's just down a little bit. Oh, it's just, you know, like sometimes I just do that and I'm like, I'll let my low leverage positions run a little bit more at a loss. Whereas my high leverage positions on low time frame, I just cut them immediately. So that might be a terrible example. I might be making a poor example for other people, but that's how I do it. So I like to share my personal experiences. But again, small positions with high leverage because the risk of liquidation is higher, right? So you have to be careful. I have somebody asked about the giveaways. I have 5 $200 giveaways today and then one $1,000 giveaway. So make sure you sign up for a PrimeXBT account to be able to get that discount, or not discount, to get that bonus deposit into your account, or it's just trading money. So $200 and $1,000, and whatever money you make, you can't withdraw the bonus, but whatever money you make with it, you can. I think is how it works. Or maybe once you've made enough to equate for the bonus, then you can withdraw. I'm actually not sure because I have not gotten one of the bonuses myself. there for you guys. So also, whatever money you deposit, if you use my code, you can get up to like $7,000 in Bitcoin too. So check that out as well. It's all in the description. But can I explain a $2,000 position risking only $100? Yeah, sure. So if I use a $2,000 position, okay, let's just say I'm shorting like this double top here, okay? And I'm going to put my stop loss at, like, this is a tweezer top, so this is a pretty good example, actually. Like, let's say I get, like, a decent entry up on this wick after it starts rejecting, and now I have a 0.2% risk, and my target's going to be, like, right here, maybe, okay, at this support. So I'm entering a 10x leverage position, $2,000, 10 times 2,000 is 20,000, okay? And then that would be 2% risk on this. So that'd be $400. It's always harder to do it in live stream when I'm talking out loud and not thinking out loud. So it's a 0.2% risk. Carry the one, that's 2% risk on the position of $20,000. So that'd be a $400 risk. So I'd have to do a 5x short, right? So if I 5x short this $2,000 position, that'd be a total of, there we go. So what I would do is I would enter here, okay, $2,000, 5x leverage, and if it goes up and stops me out, I'm losing $200. If it goes down and I make a profit, I'm making $1,500 because that's 15% of $10,000 would be my profit. Oh, sorry, I'm making $800. I forgot it was 5x. So that'd be a $200 risk, $500 or $800 reward ish, something like that. And if I extend that out to where this actually, this further target, then maybe I'm making, $2,000. So that's how you can get these really tight risk to reward positions on low. And this is actually on a 1 hour chart. So that's pretty good. You can get these tight entries if you really know what you're doing. Like this tweezer top, you really wouldn't want to see price go above there. So if I entered here, somewhere up here, or even waited for here, I could still get a really nice entry with a tight stop loss. Let's see. What other questions you guys got? Can you explain 2K position? How to use volume profile properly. That's actually, I have a volume video in my Being X series. I'm not going to explain volume on this because that's a long time. I'm not going to do any like Bitcoin predictions either, you guys, for this. This is more like leverage trading education. I want to keep it true to the title and the content. Somebody said, all right, Just Me. You're going to get, Just Me's had a few good questions. So Just Me, DM me on Twitter. And I will, post your Twitter handle here, Just Me, and I'll DM you because that way nobody can, lie about who they are or whatever. Let me find a piece of paper though. No, actually, let's put it on my marker board. All right, so Just Me, let me know your Twitter handle. I'll give you a $200 bonus for PrimeXBT. But yeah, so his question was, when using leverage, do you find it better to go shorter percentage targets, like 10 with 10x to get a 6% reward? That's one way that leverage is nice too. You can use small positions to make a decent amount of money and you're not risking very much. So I do like using low time frames with leverage to catch small moves, like let's say that I find like a rejection here, which with bearish divergence. Okay, so this is a 5-minute chart. All right. And you can just see here, I've got this bearish divergence with OBV, okay, double top, and it's a high volume rejection. Look, there's not much volume here, and then there's volume here, and there's rejection, okay? So I'm just going to enter here probably somewhere. All right, probably just enter somewhere up here on this rejection retest and say I really don't want price to go above here. So I can get like a 0.13 risk, and I'm just going to go down to the next support level. Probably, it breaks through it, so I would probably keep holding. And I would just wait till momentum stalls, and then I would get out. And now I see momentum start to stall, so I'd probably start to get out here. But you can see how these tight risks, I can catch a 1.3% move, and if I'm using 10x leverage, it's actually 13%. And honestly, if I do this with like a $10,000 position, or sorry, $1,000 position, I make $1,300 real quick, and I can get out and be done, right? So if like it's 10K total size, 13%. So then I can make $1,300 and be done on one trade in the day. Like $1,300 for one daily wage is great. Like nobody can complain about that, right? So that's one way you could do it, and it's pretty low risk. Again, it's like what, $130 risk there at the 0.13%. Let's see. Somebody said my VIP group is trash. Well, I don't really have a VIP group, so thanks. When using leverage, do you find it better? Okay. What you're talking about now, but the strategy behind it. Recently signed up with BingX, and I'm wondering the difference between standard contract and perpetual swap is. Oh, yeah. So you guys, that's actually a great question. So standard contract or USD contract or perpetual contracts. That's actually something that probably not many people know what they are. And basically, you're trading versus Bitcoin or versus USD. All right. Just me, make sure that you send me your or put your Twitter handle on here if you want to. If not, just DM me, I guess, on Twitter. But so difference is, like, let's say that I'm trading perpetual swap in Bitcoin. So if I enter a position in versus Bitcoin, then I get stopped out. I'm going to stay in Bitcoin. Does that make sense? So my account is in Bitcoin. I've got $1,000 in Bitcoin, and I put a stop loss, and I go to bed, and I wake up in the morning stopped out. My account is still in Bitcoin. If I'm trading just versus standard contract or USD contract, then I enter a position on Bitcoin. I go to bed. I wake up in the morning stopped out, but my account is now in USDT or USD or whatever they do it in for that exchange. Okay, most do USDT. So that's the difference between perpetual swap and standard contract or USD contract. And the reason a lot of people do that is, let's say it's a bull market, right? And Bitcoin's at $12,000, and I think Bitcoin's going to go to $20,000, and I want my whole account in Bitcoin, but I also want to try to maybe short Bitcoin for a scalp, or I want to long Bitcoin, and I don't want to get stopped out in USD, right? So I'm going to long Bitcoin. I get wicked out. Bitcoin goes up. I lost a little bit of value, but I still am in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes up, and I still make money, right? So that's why a lot of people do that. You can do it versus Ethereum. You can do it versus basically whatever the exchange has. A lot of different exchanges have it versus, Ethereum, some XRP, Litecoin, a lot of different ones. So you actually hold that token on the exchange, and you just trade versus that token. And a lot of people do that to build their Bitcoin too. Like, they don't care about the USD value. They think they just say one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. I want to see how many Bitcoin I can just grow in this account, right? So then you just trade versus Bitcoin. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out in Bitcoin, yada, yada. So that's what a lot of people do, especially during bull markets. And I left a lot of my accounts versus Bitcoin, last year or the last couple of years as well. And now I've kind of been sitting in USD the last 6 months or so on my accounts, and then just trading in and out versus USD or USDT. Somebody said, thanks for the tip on sticking to the time frames I entered. Light bulb moment. Yeah, that's a huge, a very big tip that I don't think a lot of people understand. Also, I have a video on it for breakfast trades, you guys. So I'll find that here real quick just so I can show you. So my breakfast trade series is really good. I kind of got away from it just because I don't have as much time for it right now, but maybe I'll get back to it eventually. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. So if you look at this, understanding time frames. So you go to my YouTube, you go to the breakfast trade series, and it's called Understanding Time Frames, and it's going to be a more in-depth explanation of what I just did at the beginning of this video. Okay. Let's see. Let me get some more questions here. Can you lose more money than what's on your leverage account? No. If you're in cross margin, you can risk your whole account. If you're in standard contract or if you're in isolated margin, then you're only risking the position. So if you're in cross margin, it's going to basically use your whole account as equity, and it's going to show you a percentage of your account that you're risking, okay? And now that's only what you have in your margin trading account, though. Like on PrimeXBT, you have a standard wallet, and then you have a margin fund, okay? you're only risking what's in your margin fund. So if you put $1,000 in your margin and you trade with that, that's all that you're going to risk. It's not going to go and steal money out of the rest of your account, okay? Now, whatever you have in that margin account is at risk, though, if you don't have a stop loss, okay? But like for a standard isolated position, isolated margin, you could have $10,000 in your account. If you only open a $500 position and you get liquidated, that $500 is gone, but the rest of the account is still there, okay? So that's how that works. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get through all these questions. These are great questions, you guys. I appreciate them. We got another like 15, 20, 30 minutes. We'll see. As long as, hopefully I don't lose internet. So this is great. Let's see. With a tweezer talk example, would I wait for the close? That's not really a leverage trading education question, but it just depends. I'd probably go to lower time frames to find another rejection or something. All right, just posting in case I didn't see it. When I actually set stop losses, sometimes a big jump can trigger your stop loss, but it traces right away, and I would have been in profit. Yeah, so when you're starting off, you're going to get stopped out a lot. Okay, when you're first starting off trading, you're going to get stopped out a lot, and it happens. Once you've gotten stopped out a lot, you start to realize, okay, this is where I really need to put my stop loss, or this could just be a wick. Maybe I should wait for the close. So yes, sometimes I will wait for a close. All right, let's say that. Let me find a good example, you guys. Let's say that I enter a short here. Okay, now again, if it's a 1 minute chart, I'm not holding as long, but this is just for the example's sake here. All right, let's say that I enter a position here with a stop loss. Let's say I catch a nice wick and my stop loss is up here, okay? Or maybe even like just a little bit more to give myself some room. And it's a manual stop loss, and let's just say my target's down lower because otherwise I would have closed, right? So anyway, this is where I enter, and I'm waiting here to see if this closes above. It was basically what I do. So this would be my invalidation point, okay? And you can see here, this breaks up, and I'm like panicking, right? I'm like, oh, God dang it. This is going to moon. It rejects right at my invalidation. That's a mega stop hunt, and now it drops, right? And it drops fine. So if I wait for this close, if for me personally, I need to watch the momentum. I'm a momentum trader, you guys. I do this like for a living, basically. So, but I'm a momentum trader, and I've gotten a good sense over the years of really sensing the momentum. And if I can feel the momentum, or if this closes up here and starts to go, I'll just get out, okay? Or if it goes too far, or I see like too heavy momentum. What probably happened here though is this was probably kind of a low volume push and then a high volume rejection, and then it goes down lower. So for that, I would have felt fine probably holding. But again, that's how newbies can get wicked out, or they panic close at the top and then it goes down. So yeah, actually once you get to be a better trader and get more experienced, you probably will start waiting for closes. But the only risk about waiting for closes is sometimes, well, and again here, this is another example. My invalidation would have been here. So I need for me personally, I need 2 closes above. So this close here is where I'm like, okay, I got to be ready to close. And then immediately it sells off and I'm like, okay, I'm good. All right. But the problem with that here is sometimes if you're newer to the game, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to wait for this. I'm short here. It broke above. I'm going to wait for the next one. And you're like, oh, it's kind of stalling. Okay, I'm going to keep holding. Oh, I'm going to keep holding. And then it just keeps going up. And you're like, oh, shoot, I don't know what to do. And now you're just getting chopped. It's just going back and forth. And you're like, oh, maybe it'll drop. And then it just keeps going, right? So you have to be disciplined on this one. If this goes up here and stops, that's high volume too, and there's no rejection. And then this next one doesn't immediately sell off. I'm getting out. Okay, I've got to get out. I've got to close. And it just comes with experience to be able to know that, okay? Yeah, that was a great question. So let's see. Yeah, LeBron in cleats. Send me your Twitter handle below, and I'll make sure to get you a $200 trading bonus as well on PrimeXBT. Let's see. Which strategy do I use to know when to exit point on a trade? You guys, honestly, it depends on the time frame. If you're trading low time frames, you just want to look at the next support or resistance, okay? If you're trading high time frames, you might use Fibonacci's, you might use EMAs, yada yada. But it depends on time frame. I have a little bit different strategies. If I'm doing low time frames, it's literally like support is here, support's here, resistance is here, and I'm trading back and forth between support and resistance to catch quick profits, and then I'm getting basically right back out. Okay. Let's see what else we got. What minimum move am I target for scalping? Again, it just depends. It's all about risk to reward. As long as you have a good risk to reward on your trades, there's not like a set amount that I'm targeting. And I always have like multiple targets. Like, let's say that if I short here and price drops to here, I might say, okay, this is my target 1. I'm going to be ready to close here because this is a support. Excuse me. Or if it doesn't, then I'm going to close at my next target, which be here, right? I trade momentum on low time frames. So if price doesn't go where I want quickly, then I just get out. Oh, excuse me. So, and I set multiple targets. That way I'm not like, okay, this is my target. This is where I'm targeting. Price is here. I'm going to wait for here. Because what happens is, like, let's say over here, I'm like, all right, this would be my target 1 somewhere down here, and this would be my target 2. But if I just say I just have one target, and I shorted here, and it drops, and I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for my target, and then it goes back up, I'm like, oh, shoot, right? So I like to have multiple targets. That way I'm like, if I see a reaction at my first target, I know I need to get out, okay? Let's see what else we got. How do I determine when to take profit when trading momentum? Again, I'm trying to do, this is like more strategy type questions, but anyway, I mean, it's literally when momentum stalls. If I long down here, where am I going to close? Right here, somewhere up here. Momentum has stalled. Probably when this breaks down, I would close, right? So momentum has stalled, or if I'm trading momentum and I see like heavy momentum just immediately stop, I just get out. So this is like light momentum, heavy momentum, no momentum, down. So like as soon as my momentum stalls, I just get out. Here, dropping, momentum's going back the other way, I'm going to get out pretty quickly. All right, that's how I trade momentum. Somebody said they've been trading, losing, reloaded the account, haven't started trading again. That's great. You loaded the account and haven't started trading. That's actually like tough to do. A lot of people immediately load their account, immediately lose it. So one thing you can do is you could paper trade, or you can do small amounts. Sometimes if I'm like struggling recently or something, I'll just do small amounts. Sometimes the market conditions aren't good and I just don't trade, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. If market conditions are crap, sit out. Like the last few weeks, month, I haven't traded at all, hardly. All right, I've done like a few low time frame leverage trades here and there, but the volatility's just not been there for me to trade consistently. So I just don't do it. It's as simple as that. These conditions aren't that great. So if you're sitting out right now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel the itch to trade, just go really small. All right. Just tell yourself, though, you need to be disciplined. You can't just like take a couple losses and then be like, oh, I'm going to start going bigger. Trade really small. Test out some simple strategies. All right. This has just been a choppy range. Maybe just find like a random mark. Like maybe you just buy the 99 SMA if it hits. Maybe you just find like a very simple strategy and just say, all right, if price is above the 99 SMA, I'm going to buy the touches, and if it's below the 99 SMA, I'm going to short the touches, right? And you can see here, you short the touch, short the touch, short the touch, long the touch, long the touch, long the touch, long the touch, and you just take profits as momentum stalls, and that's fine, okay? So when you're struggling, just dumb it down, find an easy strategy, something very simple. All right, find a major resistance or support level on high time frames, like maybe the 4-hour chart or the weekly chart. Find like a very big support or resistance, depending on if you want to short or long. Find a big support or resistance and say if price goes in there, I'm going to look on lower time frames and I'm going to try to buy that support or short that resistance. All right, keep it simple, go small until you really start to feel like you're getting your groove back, I guess. Somebody asked about fees. I don't really pay much attention to the fees because they're kind of just calculated in at this point. As long as you have a successful strategy, the fees don't matter too much. Obviously, and I've made videos on this. I can't remember where. I actually made a video on this not long ago. You need to have room for your trade to run, obviously, to get fees. So, like, if I enter a short here, like my next support is right here. Like, I can't enter that because that's too small of a move. All right. And that's why on BingX, I'll trade 1 minute charts because, and again, there's a PrimeXBT live stream, but because on like their fees are so cheap on BingX that I'll trade like 1 minute, 5 minute charts there. On PrimeXBT, you can actually get fee discounts, but their fees are a little bit higher. They're more BingX is the one with the cheapest fees, but PrimeXBT, Femex, all their fees are just basically the same. But on Prime, I'll just do a little bit higher time frame. So I'll do like a 30-minute or a 1 hour chart. And that way I have more room to run. And you can see like this breakdown here, I got plenty of room to run. I'm not going to be worried about the fees. So as long as you have a successful strategy, fees aren't that big of a deal. If you have a losing strategy, that's when you're really going to start hurting because of the fees. All right. So, because the fees just add to your losses at that point. I wish I could claim my fees on my taxes though. Good God. I mean, just so much in fees. It's ridiculous. Somebody asked what OBV is. Actually, if you go to my breakfast trade series on YouTube, I do have an OBV series. Okay. Or not OBV series. I have an OBV video. So, here's just a quick thing, you guys. If I'm looking, I actually made a head and shoulders video too. So you want to go check that out. But look at this really clean head and shoulders right now. So this is something I would be watching for a setup if I was trading. Okay, so you got your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. All right, now I'm not going to take any trades here. Definitely not going to short this. But, you know, your target for your head and shoulders is like this. Okay, so it'd be 41,900. And so I would enter if it breaks out here. And this is promising. The volume profile is actually pretty good. So let's just say this would be my target. And then I have to see it break out to really know my risk. But maybe my risk would be like below this EMA. So 0.25% risk and a 1.5% reward. So this is how I can catch, you know, like a low time frame trade. So yeah, that's just like a setup I would look for. Nice and low risk, you know, maybe risk $200 or $300 and make like $700, $800, $1,000 in that trade. All right. And usually an hour chart's going to play out in a couple hours. So it's, you know, nice quick profit. On lower time frames too, you have to be careful of like slippage and things. So like if you're trading a 1 minute chart, using like $1 million positions is not ideal, okay? Because you can't get out of that position quick enough a lot of times, and you're just going to have huge slippage, and fees are huge, and that's when you're going to take big losses. So on low time frames, I don't like to use more than like $250,000 position size maximum, like absolute maximum, okay? And for a lot, that's going to be a large position, so you don't have to like feel obligated to use that size. So somebody said, I get great entries, but let my position stay in the market too long and then PA comes back against them. Yeah, I mean, that's a very common situation. You need to know what time frame you're trading on and, you know, maybe have multiple targets. Maybe you take profit, half profit at one level, and then it comes back and it stops you out, but you still made money. Or it comes back to break even, you close at break even, but you still made money on half that position, okay? Sometimes, honestly, you guys, I'll throw a little bit extra at a position because I know it's going to go in a direction, and if it doesn't, I cut it immediately. But then when it goes in that direction, I'll close it quickly, and then I'll let the actual trade run out. That's something that comes with experience, and when you get a little bit better, it's basically a risk reward thing where you're like, if this doesn't go up immediately, I'm closing, but it should go up immediately here, and then it does, and you take the profit, or it doesn't go up immediately and you close immediately, and you're basically closing at break even and just taking a hit on the fees. Okay. So that's kind of more advanced strategy, but something to keep in mind when you get better. Can you talk about how I accumulate a position? Well, I kind of already did at the beginning, where you kind of add on confidence. So like, let's say that I enter down here and then I see like a head and shoulders develop. Well, I can't really add again until it breaks through this. All right. And then once it breaks here, I could add. And now my average position is like up here, and that's great because now if it drops, I can still close at break even, right? So I'm still not taking a loss on that trade. So averaging on the way up is better than averaging on the way down with leverage, in my opinion, because if you just start averaging into a long here and you keep averaging on the way down, then you could be taking some big losses, okay? And then you just keep averaging and you're like, it doesn't work, and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta close this down here, and you take a huge loss because you just average, your average entry is like up here, so you take a huge loss down here, and then it bounces. Whereas if you add on, like, cut the losses small, so I add here, right? This is my first position add, like up here, like I said, and it goes down here, I just cut it. Like, screw that, I'm just cutting this. It's a small loss. I add on confidence, I can, like, if I get in here, and I add here, and I add here, and then it starts to break down, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to get out. All right, well, now I'm out at, like, break even, because my entry was here. I'm out, like, maybe a little bit of profit, or maybe I cover my fees. All right, so that's how I add on confidence. But that doesn't mean I always add on confidence. Excuse me. So obviously, I have my own set strategies for adding on confidence and things. So it's not just add when you're in profit anytime, but it is safer to do that. And not only that, you guys, excuse me, throat is dry. Okay. I have actually a really good video for that, though, about adding. Where are you? Where are you? Here it is. Bam. Oh, sweet ad, bro. Thanks. Thanks for the 5 cents. Okay. Here it is. It's called Simple Trading Strategy and Adding Size to Leverage Positions. It's in my PrimeXBT series on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube, youtube.com/NebraskanGooner. PrimeXBT Leverage Trading Series. It's like one of the most recent videos. Okay. How to add size to positions safely. All right. Let me get another drink here. All right. Do I move stops at all to lock in profit? On momentum trades, yes. On low time frames, yes. If I have a nice, decent, profitable trade, I need to make sure that that stays in a decent profit. So, yeah, like it's low time frame trading is all about locking in profits, you guys. And honestly, my trading style is momentum based. It's all about locking in profits because when I don't do that, I kick myself in the ass for it. Where's WTI? Like this one, I was up pretty big on here. I was up like 20 or 30K up here, and I literally didn't close. And it's against, like, I was trying to do like, oh, I'm going to hold this forever or whatever. I was like, I'm going to hold this for, a few weeks or a month. And I literally got in down here. It went up. It came back to my entry, and I took nothing from it. I was up like 20 or 30K. And I had nothing to show for it. So I needed, that was a rejection. I needed to take at least some profit here. I could always have added back here with a tight stop. I didn't do it though. So, you're not always perfect. Sometimes emotions get in the way or whatever. But, I didn't take like I didn't buy up here and take like a $20,000 loss either, at least. So, it can't always be perfect. Nothing's ever going to go 100% the right way, but at least, at least I have good strategy. At least is a good reminder for me to start taking profit, right? Like I should have at least taken half up there. Don't feel obligated to use more than 250K position size. Yeah, don't feel obligated to use large positions. Like I could be sitting over here slinging $10 million position size on crypto and posting random shit or posting, $200,000 losses and $500,000 wins. But like, I just don't operate that way. It's just so risky, like I don't like huge swings like that. I'm sorry. And a lot of people I know don't like huge swings like that. You don't need to risk a lot of money to make a lot of money. But if you're risking a lot of money, it's easy to lose a lot of money. So, just keep that in mind, you guys. Some people risk way too much money in these. If I go big, it's on a spot account, okay? And really, if you're going big or if you have a large spot account, you trade Bitcoin most of the time or whatever because that's going to be like non-leveraged. You trade altcoins to basically leverage your cash, right? Your spot account. So altcoins are basically leveraged Bitcoin. And that's how I think of it. So then if you're trading altcoins with leverage, you're like double leveraging. So then you definitely want to go smaller. That's how I look at it. All right. Yeah, so LeBron and Cleats and Just Me, please just DM me your Twitter handle, or DM me on your Twitter handle. I'll get you a code after the session. I still have 3 more codes to give away, so I'll give those away soon, and then we'll do a $1,000 giveaway at the end. Somebody asked how I navigate gains on exchanges not meant for U.S. customers. I keep track of everything manually. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but then I just give it to my tax guy, and he does it. You know, I'll let you guys figure out the best way to do it for you. Talk to your tax people. But you know, a lot of the history like doesn't carry over for very long on some of these exchanges or things like that. So, some of it you have to, be really diligent on recording, or making sure you're like keeping track of how much is coming out, because obviously if it's going into your bank account or whatever, the IRS has access to that. It's like a penny just dropped on my head. Thanks, Gunnar. That's awesome. Do I always use market orders? I do on low time frames. I always use market orders with leverage, to be honest. But with my spot account, sometimes I'll do limits. But my trading strategy, again, is more momentum based, yada, yada. So for me, I just like to use market orders. Anyway, it works better for my strategy. All right. How do you deal with price breaks out and there's no retest? Sometimes I actually have a video on that too. I think it's on Breakfast Trades. Maybe it's on PrimeXBT. I have multiple. What to do if you miss a trade or whatever. So let's just say this breaks out and I want to get a retest so I can get best risk reward, and it just goes up here. Okay. And now my risk reward is way higher, right? So like if I want to get in here and my stop loss is the same and my target's the same, first off, that's terrible risk to reward. But it's 1.4% risk now, so I probably have to move my stop loss up anyway to like here. But well, I mean, you wouldn't FOMO that high anyway. But let's say I FOMO a little bit lower. Okay, there we go. So I FOMO a little bit lower. Now my risk is 0.6 and my reward is 1. Okay, I just got to go smaller because now my stop loss is 0.65 rather than getting a retest here and having my stop loss at like 0.3. Okay, so I use half position size basically. That's how I would take care of that. Let's see what else we got. Excuse me. Neo, thanks for all the questions, man. Send me your or DM me on Twitter, and I'll make sure to get you a code for a $200 deposit as well. Yeah, that's Neo1216. Please DM me on Twitter after the show. I'll get you a discount or one of the codes. Yeah, he said thanks. That was helpful for adding on the way down. Yeah, you guys, if you add on the way down, you end up taking big losses a lot of times. So if you add on the way up, or if you just cut your small position, it's just a small loss, and then you just add down lower anyway if you feel like you should add, right? But you could get back in. What's the top signal for being in or short? Literally, I actually have a video for that too, you guys. Like, I got so many videos. It's not even worth me explaining all of, it's not worth me going over this because I have like full videos dedicated to these type of things. So, but I'll find it here. Here it is. How to short like Gunnar. Bam, right here. Okay, so watch that video. How to short like Gunnar. I got one thing you should do before entering a trade. How I made $10,000 in 1 hour shorting Bitcoin. Just things like that, you guys. Just easy, quick little videos. Trading mistakes to avoid. Avoid getting wrecked and chopped. Stop panic selling. Do this instead. What leverage should you use? How to take profits. How to create profitable strategies. How to set stop losses. I mean, man, you guys, that's part. I mean, there's 10 more that I can't even scroll back to right now. So I got tons of video content for you guys. I need another badge on the wall for the symmetry. Oh, you guys don't like my emptiness over here? My wife kind of said that too. Maybe I'll find something. I don't know what I'd put up there though. Maybe I'll put an XRP logo over there. Let's see. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, Half. I really do. Let's see. Do you place orders for TPs or do you take profit by watching the market? You guys, that just depends again. It's totally different strategy dependent. A lot of times I just market in and out, but some people are going to use take profits. It's totally up to your strategy. You need to figure out what works for you. For me, mostly marketing, unless I'm doing like a really high time frame. Do MAs work better on low time frame? No, MAs work better on high time frames, especially like larger moving averages. But they can be useful on lower time frames. But I would mostly stick to MAs on higher time frames. Okay, that's where I mostly use them. Do I have a favorite time frame for high leverage scalps? I mean, technically the 1 minute chart, because I'm literally getting in. But again, you guys, I've done this for years now, but I'm like, if I take a 1 minute short, I'm getting in like up here probably, right? One of these candles here, or maybe when this starts selling off on high volume and my risk is just right above there. So it's very tight entries. And if you're not, experienced enough, you're going to get chopped up. And there's still times where I do get chopped up, especially if the market's choppy. So, but Uncle Andy, you've been here the whole time too. So send me you've asked a lot of questions. Send me your Twitter handle. Send me your Twitter handle as well, or DM me, on Twitter, and I'll get you $200. We'll make at the end, we'll do the $1,000. We'll make it like a game or something random. So that way everyone has a shot. Live ticker would look great. Oh yeah. A live ticker on there. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I should do that. Somebody said I should get a Spurs badge. Oh, you're blocked. Kick him out. I'm booting you. Put user in timeout. I didn't know I could do that. I put him in timeout. How does it work? Mark Pickles was timed out for 300 seconds. Oh, that's sad. Oh no, can I can't unmute him now. Oh no, I did it twice on accident. So now he's timed out for 10 minutes. No. All right, Mark, I'll give you the last $200 bonus since so DM me on Twitter. So Mark will get the last $200 bonus since he won't be able to participate in the $1,000 giveaway. Oh, that's so rude. Oh, he had to bring up the Spurs. Do I look at OI divergence? No, I don't use open index. Open interest. I do not use open interest, but it can be helpful on higher time frames. So yeah, Mark Pickles, please DM me on Twitter. I'll get you the last $200 bonus for PrimeXBT. So now all I have is a $1,000 giveaway left, and it's a bonus for PrimeXBT. So make sure you sign up for an account in the league, because you'll need to go type this code that I'm going to give you into the account, and then it'll show up and you can use it to trade. But this is so funny. I feel so bad. Mark, can you guys see that? Does it show you? Look, he was timed out for 300 seconds, and then I timed him out again for another 300 seconds. Whoops. That's funny. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean it. That's my first time doing that. I didn't know I could do that. So, how often do I enter a trade short or long on tweets, on news or a tweet? Usually never trade on news. But like if I think a chart looks bullish and then there's some bullish news coming out or something, then I might trade it. But I'm never going to do anything solely based on news, because it's too easy to like buy the top or, whatever. News just like somebody said, show me the news or show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. Basically meaning like show me the chart and I'll tell you if there's bullish or bearish news coming out. So news is there's very rarely a time where a chart just does something absolutely crazy and you're like, wow, that was totally news driven. There's no indication on the chart whatsoever for that happening. Banning for mentioning Spurs is totally fair. Yeah, for sure. Did I watch the Invincible DVD? No, I've not seen that. How often do I enter a trade? Oh, wait, sorry, I already read that. All right, you guys. I thought that was a great hour session. Poor Pickle. Sorry, Mark. We love you. I didn't mean it. I didn't know it. I thought I could undo it, but I can't. I seriously can't even undo his. Oh, I didn't delete his message though. It says message was deleted by Nebraska Gunner. Yeah, I can't. I almost hit remove, but that would just removed him. All right. Can I use divergences on low time frame for scalps also? Yeah, you can use divergences on low time frames. You know, like indicators don't work as well on low time frames, so you need to be aware of that. But like I showed earlier in the stream, if you missed it, there was a 1 minute or a 5 minute. It was either 1 minute or a 5 minute bearish divergence on OBV, and it worked out for a nice rejection. My favorite indicator is on balance volume and top Goon X. So on balance volume is here, top Goon X is here. You know, basically if top Goon X starts showing some bullish divergences or something, you know, when top Goon X is down at the bottom, I don't short, especially on 1 minute chart. Okay. And when it's at the top, I don't long anymore. So you can see here, that's pretty worked well. So if you're just like accumulating longs when it's down here and you get out up top and you accumulate longs again when it's down here and you get out up top, you could see how top Goon X works well like that, right? Like here's top zone here, and another top zone here in the blue. All right. And then the bottom zone down here. Now, I only have alerts available for this right now, but eventually here in the next few weeks, hopefully I'll be able to make this available to more people on TradingView. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, you guys, so let's do a completely random giveaway. Make sure you've signed up for a PrimeXBT account. There's a link below in the description. But let's just do a completely random for this $1,000 because I appreciate you all joining, and not only that, sticking around to the end. So if you're here at the end, you get the special bonus. And if you already won the $200, you're still eligible for the $1,000 giveaway too. So what we're going to do is let's just pick a number, and we'll pull it on the screen. We'll pick a number, or we'll pick I'll pick a number, write it down now. Let me see. Let me find, I need to find someone to write on here. Okay. What is that? Oh, hold on. I gotta find a piece of paper that has like my name on it and stuff. Jeez. Let's see. I just need to find a random piece of paper here. Why don't I like clean up my office? I don't know where anything's at. Hold on. Okay. Got it. Oh, actually, here. I'll do this. I'll type it on a separate screen here. Okay. We are going to pick a number between, let's do 1 and 100, because there's probably like 20 of you in here, right? I don't even know how many people are in here, but we'll do a number between 1 and 100. I'm going to draw it over here. I'm trying to be as completely random as I can. Okay. Okay. When I say go, you're going to pick a number between 1 and 100, and you can guess as many times as you want. And whoever guesses it first is going to get the $1,000 reward. Simple as that. And if you start guessing before I say go, then I just mute you, and you don't get a win. So I'm just muting all of you guys now. I'm just kidding. But we haven't started yet, so I'm going to wait until you guys stop. Everyone's typing already. Nope, doesn't count. None of those count. Nope, they don't count. We haven't started yet. Nope. Everyone's still typing. Stop typing. Mute the chat. I wonder if I could just like turn off chat for a second. Nope, I can't. All right. None of those. Okay. Starting. None of the. I got to type in here so you guys can see it live. Nope. Not yet. Okay. You guys. Do I have a video about how to use Top Goon X? Yes, I do have a video about how to use Top Goon X. It's on my YouTube. It's on topgoonx.com as well. Okay. Okay. I'm going to type it in the chat. Okay, now we're live, and it's a little delayed on my chat. The chat is a little delayed between my voice. So, starting now, go. You can type between 1 and 100. Whoever gets the number first will win. I'll drag it over. Whoa. Okay, this is way fast. All right. Let's see. I got to go slow here. All right, you guys are typing. Let's see. Jeez, that just like shot up. All right. I don't see it yet. Don't see it yet. Oh, somebody's really close. Between 1 and 100. Somebody said 863. Oh my gosh, this is like, holy crap. Okay, let's see. We got it. It's got to be on here somewhere. All right, I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling down. Scrolling down. I don't see any numbers yet. Oh. Nope, not yet. Not yet. I don't see it yet. Somebody guessed it like earlier when we first started, but that doesn't count. So, like at the very beginning before I said to go. Okay, nope. Oh, we got some close numbers. Still not there. Dang. Stop, guys. Keep going. Keep going. I still don't see it yet. Oh, I see it. Hold on. I see it. Okay, I see the number, but I got to make sure that there's nobody before it. Somebody guessed it, but now I'm going to see if there was somebody before them. I don't think there was. Oh my god, there's so many guesses. Maybe there was. Holy shnikes. Yo, this is ridiculous. Okay, we're going down the list. If I don't see the number before I get back to that guy, then he's the winner. Let's see. Do 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 do. Ooh, boop. Nope, don't see it yet. Okay, is he gonna be the winner? I still haven't seen it. The suspense is killing me. Boom, 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 boom. I think this is the winner, Mark. Numero 37. Pew, 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 pew. Good job, Mark. Thank you for participating. Holy comments. Holy cow. Mark is the winner. All right, Mark, you have won $1,000 PrimeXBT bonus. I will give you a code in DMs on Twitter, so make sure you tell me your Twitter handle here, because I don't want any, everyone on this stream is pretty cool, but if it was on Twitter, I'd have random people like trying to fake your account or tell me it's them. So congrats, Mark. Somebody did guess 37 before we started the actual go live. So Mark is the winner. Sorry, Mark Pickles, for being banned through that. He talked about Spurs. Dang, somebody guessed 38 first. Yeah, that was really close. I have no idea how I came up with the number 37. It was just completely random. Perfect. So, Mark, I will DM you on Twitter so you can claim that. Everyone else that I mentioned throughout the stream, please DM me for your $200 bonus. I appreciate all your questions. I really appreciate you guys being here and subscribing to me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys and bring like some awesome content, because I felt like it was lacking in the space a couple years ago when I joined, and I just couldn't find any education. So I wanted to try to bring as much as I could. Appreciate PrimeXBT for helping me out with that and sponsoring my videos. I got more live streams later this week on Thursday, and I've got more live streams coming next week. So, anyway, you guys, I appreciate you all for joining. Thanks for all your questions. They were really great questions. I had a lot of fun in the last hour. And, stay tuned on Twitter. I'm sure I'll have more updates and whatnot later today. And, yeah, so I'll catch you guys later. Congratulations again, Mark, too. Awesome. Thanks for participating, you guys. I'll see you later. Peace. You guys later. Congratulations again, Mark, too. Awesome. Thanks for participating, you guys. I'll see you later.